Oh,
There it is. There it
hell
is.
no. What the fuck is this thing? Gas stations at night is probably the worst place you could be. First off, you got piss yellow walls. They're moist. Moist piss yellow walls. Like the buzz of a fluorescent light and there's no other sound. It's the worst shit ever. These niggas got Wi-Fi, bro. Like, come on. These niggas could post a YouTube video in the back rooms. Alright, y'all, in the last video, we watched a Backrooms video by Some Ordinary Gamer. He was talking about where it's at, how it is. We talked about the blue Michigan hell thing, whatever the fuck, and how there was Native Americans and stuff like that. They were throwing people in there. And today, we actually have some Backrooms found footage. And guess who this video is by? Some Ordinary Gamer. We've been doing a lot of videos by Some Ordinary Gamer. Shout out to him. If you guys want to watch the actual full video, you guys can see it's right here.
Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar, and I'm sure some of you have seen this video on the internet.
Motherfucker got hella G Fuel back there.
Found footage, and I kind of wanted to watch it with you because, ladies and gentlemen, the Backrooms is one of those creepypasta stories that have actually become a life of its own. You know, in the same vein SCPs have like a million entries, the Backroom has an entire lore set behind it. A lore set so strong that I'm pretty sure if From Software sat down and took the actual concept of the Backrooms, they could make probably one of the best horror games out of it. But ladies and gentlemen, this is a video that was created by one YouTuber known as
I think there is a Backrooms game.
By the way, let's give it up here, a 16-year-old director and VFX artist. Now, from what we're about to watch here, the Backrooms footage consisted here is actually like completely CGI, except what we're gonna see over here is a CGI printed to a VHS, given that original classic photographer found footage effect. Now, I'm a huge fan of found footage movies. There's not a whole lot of them out there, but frankly, the ones that are, if they're good, are some of the best horror stuff that you'll ever find. Now, for a quick primer on the Backrooms, it initially started as an old school 4chan post. For instance, one of the earliest posts that I ever saw on X, which is the paranormal board, was the 12th of May 2019, way back in the day, where they said post disquieting images that just feel off. Now, for those of you who don't know what liminal spaces are, this probably looks very close to what you think. Liminal spaces, for those of you who don't know, are basically spaces that are just vast, giant, and devoid of any life, as far as I can really get into it. Basically, the best description is literally from the Reddit board. A liminal space is the time between what was and the next. It is a place of transition, waiting and not knowing. I guess the best way to put it is purgatory. And if anything makes you feel that way, this image might pretty much be the best example of it. There's no life out there. It's just you sitting in...
Gas stations at night is probably the worst place you could be. Like, it doesn't even matter if it looks like this, if there's 5 different cars parked next to you, stuff like that, all getting the gas. Every single one, no matter what, is creepy as fuck. Dude, I remember I was driving through California. I'm from California. I was driving from San Diego back to the Bay Area, right? Because that's where I'm originally from. I'm from Pittsburgh, California, and I was living out there in San Diego. So every once in a while, I would drive from San Diego all the way back to Pittsburgh, California. And as you're driving, right, you get through the mountains, right? What is it called? Grapevine. You're going through Grapevine, and then you're back to flat land. You keep on going, and then about I say an hour, 45 minutes to an hour past Grapevine, you're going to hit a gas station. It's called Dino Mart, and let me tell you, there's no gas station before Dino Mart. So if you need gas, you have to pull into that gas station. It's the closest one. So I'm driving my Charger, and it's on E. I have no gas left. It's the middle of the night. It's probably like 11 p.m. So I'm driving. That's the only one. I turn on the road where that Dino Mart is. There's 2 gas stations. The other one was closed, and I needed to also take a piss. So I'm down bad. I need a piss. I need gas. I need to sleep because it's 11 o'clock. I just got off of work, right? So I'm tired as hell making this drive, right? I fucked around, pulled into the gas station. One light. It looked like that SpongeBob episode. You know that SpongeBob episode when they went to the deep or the dark or whatever the fuck? It looked just like that. I'm telling you, I started thinking people were gonna start talking like, "Hey, you need gas." I started thinking people were gonna talk like that. They weren't talking like that. There was nobody there, right? It was only me. There wasn't even anybody inside of the gas station. I went to go take a piss, walked out, Guess what? One light shining down on my car. The whole gas station, one light just shining down on my car. And you know what's the creepy part? There's a big ass green dinosaur sitting there just staring off into the distance. There's nothing, like, it's pitch black in every direction. The only light is that one light at the gas station. I'm sitting there looking over my shoulder. I don't have a gun, nothing like that. Just got off of work. Nothing on me. The only two things I have is these. And I'm not fighting nobody. In the middle of the night, you don't know what they got on them. Fuck that. I'm telling you, the middle of California at night is the creepiest shit ever. I've lived in Washington. I've lived in Florida, multiple different places. I've been everywhere. And let me tell you right now, the creepiest place is the middle of California. Nothing but desert and pitch blackness and farmland. That's the worst you could get.
Purgatory, out by a shell where the S isn't even active. So yeah,
Gas
that's actually
stations.
quite a good image out there too. And a lot of the people
Fuck
that are
that.
building some of these liminal images are actually doing it a lot in CGI. If you look really closely, you can see that there's like blender effects that you can figure out. But yeah, some of this stuff is just CGI, like old, like basically closed off areas, no devoid life, a transitional area, and that's pretty much the best way to describe a liminal space. For instance, this itself is a very much liminal space. If anything is a liminal space, it's probably going to be the game LSD Dream Emulator. If you ever played that back on the PlayStation 1, that's generally what we're going to be looking at over here. One of the posts that I saw back, if you're not careful and you no-clip out of
Liminal
reality in the wrong
spaces.
areas, you'll end up in the backrooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old, moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, the endless background noise of fluorescent lights and maximum humbuzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell has...
Dude, imagine being stuck in the back rooms. Like just take like this description right here. Take this description, right? Put it into your head right now. Close your eyes. What do you want to do? What can you do? You can't even make up a plan in the back of your head. First off, you got piss yellow walls. They're moist piss yellow walls. And then you have nobody around you but things that are trying to take you off the map. And then you hear the buzz. If you guys ever been in a place where the buzz of lights are there, like the buzz of a fluorescent light and there's no other sound, it's the worst shit ever. It's the worst shit ever. You can't get away from it. That buzz from the fluorescent lights is the worst shit ever. I'm telling you.
heard you. And again, up until this point, when these things, when the Backrooms was introduced, this was the only level that we knew. Level 0, the lobby, the tutorial section. Now there's like 999 levels, and not a lot of them are good. But let's get into the actual video over here. Let's get watching this one.
Rolling. All right. And
What the fuck is that? A monkey?
So first off, they're just directing the movie over here. 7A is the scene, but I'm actually trying to identify what the movie over here is, like what they're actually trying to film. And I really can't, they're not actually mentioning anything in the production title, but okay. So they're out by the trailer over here just filming the scene. And what's going to happen is one of them are going to no-clip into, like, the back rooms. So they're cutting over here.
Alright, that was good. I'm thinking we get a wide angle, and then we're done.
Alright, yeah, cool. Like, how much further? Like,
A little more.
that?
For those wondering how these VHS effects are done, basically you can actually take any video and just like actually go to a real VHS
Look, it just fell
and
into
just
the
film
floor.
the whole thing to get that original VHS static effect. That's the only like proper way to do it. If you try doing it in like After Effects or like just video in general, it does become apparent if an editor sees it or anybody in that department. This was actually done from what I could see on like a real VHS effect, like a real VHS box. So kudos on that little touch right there. Now, of course, you've actually no-clipped into the back rooms, and this is where the entire thing begins. Now again, you can see that just if you look real closely, it is a Blender CGI thing. This is not actually being in the back rooms. Now, to understand very basically, well, how do you clip into the back rooms? Okay, to understand, there's a lot of stuff that you got to get down. Okay, this is like a very deep lore piece.
What the fuck?
I guess the best way to describe what a no clip is, it's kind of like falling through the ground in Grand Theft Auto or like any video game,
Dude.
where you go to like one.
They have instructions on how to get to this shit. Fuck that. Imagine accidentally doing the instructions and you just fall through the earth and now you're surrounded by piss yellow walls.
portion of the land
Fuck that.
doesn't check for collision.
Look,
and all of a sudden
that's
you're
how it
falling
is.
through it, and that's basically no clipping into hell. Okay. If you ever play the old game Doom, there's a couple codes you can enter where you can just go through walls. Sometimes you go far enough, and the game has problems rendering anything because you're actually out of, like, you know, cogent map data. That's effectively what you're doing, right? There isn't a for-sure way to do this. It just happens at random intervals. There are some tips to increase your chances of getting there. Walls that are a shade darker in abandoned buildings. Doors that look like they shouldn't lead anywhere or in a random place. Any area that gives paranormal feelings. Hair standing up, buzzing, electric currents, sense of unease. Missing the last step on a flight of stairs and falling on your face. This usually does not work. Only in very select flights of stairs, the anomalous properties of said stairs disappearing moving after 2 or so entries using this method. And then interacting with a corrupted object, such as a glitched chair. Again, there's like an element of Matrix nonsense over here. But once you've fallen into it, these are the few things you have to get into. You have to accept your fate. You can't panic.
Accept your
panicking
fate?
causes you to lose your senses and make noise.
Yeah, you
which
gotta
causes the
accept it.
entities to show up. And panicking is just bad in general. Step 2, make a mental note of your surroundings and determine which level you've landed in. Step 3, accept the backrooms as your new home, because you will not be returning to Earth ever again. Yeah, once you know Clipped, I don't even know if that's entirely true, but you're basically fucked. So let's get back to the entire movie here. So yeah, you can see that it's all just entirely CG. Obviously, they're gonna go to like an actual place and film this. In fact, the original image, no one really has even a clue where it was like taken like a photo of. Some people have said it's like a office complex, an old like video game, like it's just an old like a complex. But over here, you've actually seen one entity that has shown up. Now, this is the entity that's actually known as 6 Arms. Okay, that basically just
6 arms.
hit itself. We're gonna look at that a little bit later.
Fuck
but
is that,
just to
Ben 10?
understand, there are a couple entities roaming around. Now, to understand, there's got to be a trick to when you like have to, find your way out of the back rooms. I think my favorite trick is to basically hold one side of the wall and just stick to it, because that's probably the best way to not get lost in a place where you can't even get your cardinal directions or bearings down. But from what I understand, every room in the back rooms, or at least level 0, is unique in terms of how it's designed. It's not like procedurally generated out here. But here's like one ladder that takes you to the next cogent area of the of the
Who the
back
fuck
rooms.
built this
So let's
shit?
see where we go to. Let's see if our boy can make it all the way to like level 2. All right. Let's see if we can get past the lobby. Yeah, if you look real good on the textures of the wall, you can definitely identify it's a Blender animation. Like you can definitely see the texturing in a video game for sure. Like it's definitely.
Can anybody
CG
hear me?
rendered.
Hell
You shouldn't
nah.
be making noise.
Somebody's gonna hear you. Hell no, y'all seen that?
You saw him right there in the corner there. Bam.
Yeah, y'all seen that?
You saw it. You saw it right there.
Hell no.
Right
The
there.
fuck is that?
Ah, it's hiding. It is hiding.
Look like
indeed.
Baldi's Basics.
Yeah, it's like definitely just hidden over there in the corner. And that, I think, is the best part of the horror over here, Really just experiencing... Yeah, it's disappeared. Really just experiencing this horror. It's like, it's all observational. There's very little jump scaring, if anything. Oh, there you go. The arrows are pointing to locations that you probably shouldn't go. I would not trust something like this.
Yeah, I'm not trusting
You
this
do
shit.
it.
Who the fuck built this shit?
I think what adds to the overall, fear is the camera movement, Just, it adds that extra bit of realism. And here we've got some graffiti on the wall. So let's see what's actually written over here. We've gotten a window that points with the sun coming in. And of course, windows are in fact an
Fuck
entity in the
this.
back rooms. You don't go near windows. You go near windows, there's things in those windows, and they will kill you. What is this? Don't move, stay still. Oh, no. And there it is, boys. There it is.
Hell
Oh,
no.
shit. Now you gotta start running from that. Yeah, see how fast it moves up to you? How close it gets? Jesus Christ. Yeah, you can't get VHS effects like this if you actually don't use a real VHS box for it. And it's still hunting you down. Here it is. This is where like your mental state. Oh, there it is, in the corner. Let's go back and get a good idea of it in this area. Hold on.
Oh,
there it is. There it is.
Hell no! What the fuck is this thing? Man, you gotta beat that nigga up,
And
man.
if it's one thing that'll tell you right now that
Run
this
at
is a
him.
Blender animation, look at this right wall over here, and as you like go past a little bit forward, it's actually no clipping. Oh my god, it is no clipping out of here. Oh jeez, it also does not appear to be casting. No, it is casting. It does actually no, it does. No, it's casting shadows. It's casting a shadow. That is freaky, man. It's literally just a stick figure just hunting it down. And of course, you got one little jump down here. You go there, you break your legs, and now one would think you're in the next area. So this appears to kind of be level 1, but it isn't. Okay, level 1 is kind of like more industrial in nature, which we'll actually get to check real quick. Now that area that you just saw going in actually reminds me a bit of the habitable zone, which is level 1. Of course, this is connected obviously to level 0 and the crossroads. But that also said, though, you
Colony
can go back from level
outposts?
like 1 all the way back to 0.
They
Which
got-
we're actually about to see now.
Bro,
so they can actually
don't
kind
tell
of
me
look
I just seen
outside,
that, right?
connected
Wait.
obviously to level 0 and the
Watch this.
crossroads.
Has public Wi-Fi and allows people to go here for any internet catch-up. Base flickers of the Backroom. Relatively small base owned by the main group. Friendly and open to trade. Population ranging from 25 to 200 depending on the number of people stationed there. Usually used for fandom and Reddit posts by their people. These niggas got Reddit posts in the Backrooms.
But that also said, though, you can go
These
back
niggas got Wi-Fi, bro. Like, come on.
level like 1 all the way back to 0, which we're actually about to
These niggas got Wi-Fi in the back rooms. These niggas could post a YouTube video in the back rooms.
see now. So they can actually
What
kind of
the
look
hell?
outside, and it almost feels like the area is repeating itself to an extent, you know?
The fuck is
Nobody
that in the
knows
window?
what it is. This entire geometry looks so odd. Actually, no, this doesn't really seem like an industrial place. They've got like one dumpster just sitting around over here. I don't know if this is necessarily level 1. Or, sorry, level 2. But they've got waste management, and that's a logo that's very common.
How the fuck do you get a trash
But
can in there?
obviously, you can see that this is a much more cleaner section. And will they be hunted down? That's going to be the real question. Yeah, look at that. That is insane. This is
That
like
shit is crazy.
this is being stuck in a
Who the
hell.
fuck built this shit?
It doesn't look real. This almost looks like a crossroad section, like a nuclear silo type deal. But we're obviously walking through an office area. The office area is not level 4 in this situation, but here we've got the fire exit, and this is one of those things that's going to lead us all the way back to level 0. Yep, the staircase. And we're back. We came back to the lobby, boys. There's no escape. Once you're stuck in here, you're stuck in here like we saw earlier. He's gonna get hit once more. Just watch this. He's gonna get raided. Again, one thing that I will say is if you like actually put your hand onto one side of the wall, that's probably your best bet on not getting lost. But this thing is stalking him in the area, and look at that movement there. Looks like a goddamn Enderman from like Minecraft. Oh, there it is. It saw you. It saw you. It saw you. It literally saw you. This thing has like perception level 100. And you're gonna get jump scared here for sure. And if we do get jump scared, yeah, it's probably safer to slide. And there it is. That is
Hell
what the actual
no.
creature looks like, as you can see. A close-up rendition of it. It is like thin. It is like barely transparent. And yeah, there's some aspects of motion blur that are kicking, but that's the actual character. It's tossed you,
You're done, so.
and you're headed into hell, basically. Or you've no-clipped back into reality, or at least your camera has, and it's falling all the way from orbit to the ground. And that, my friends, has more horror in it on a fraction of the budget compared to most of the horror movies out there. So all in all, that is actually one of the finest, like, sort of pieces on the backroom media that I've actually ever seen. And again, when it always comes to, like, these scary stories and threads and
Dude.
creepypastas and, like, you know, horror
Fuck
things
that.
on the internet, the best things always have the best media attached to it. Now, for those of you who haven't been following the back room since the last time we looked into it, it's developed an entire lore set out there. There's entire wikis that have been covering the situation. Just a cursory glance at their levels show you enigmatic levels, sub-layers, so layers within the
Level 0 tutorial level. Habitable zone. Pipe dreams. Electrical station. Abandoned office. Terror hotel. Lights out. I don't know what the fuck that means. Cave systems. The suburbs. Field of wheat. The endless city. The Matrix. The motherfuckers got the Matrix in there. Memories.
like levels within those levels. But if you can actually see
Niggas got the moon. They got the moon in the back rooms.
they've got levels all the way from 0 to 99, which is sort of the original normal level list. And of course, the first one is tutorial level that we've seen. So the first actual section, which is the most popular area of the entire, you know, or the one most well-known area of the.
So is this like like the tutorial level? If the back rooms was real, somebody made a game which is in the people would just get sucked into it.
Backroom. And of course, even according to this, it says no entities exist, despite us actually seeing an entity
Yeah, we seen we seen this little nigga.
in that entire video. Which obviously we had to have seen simply for the actual horror to kick in. Any video game that has the backrooms in it, and there are quite a few good ones out there. For instance, there's one where like it's all done within virtual reality. So if you actually have a VR headset like a Vive or an Oculus device or an Index or whatever VR headsets that exist, that's actually a game you should absolutely try. Even if you set the monster to not exist, just wandering around liminal spaces is definitely a creepy environment. I think the VR adds the effect to it. And honestly, you could probably recreate this actual found footage movie just through that if you wanted to, with enough editing and whatnot. Like, from a lore perspective, you probably wouldn't have seen that entity chilling around lore, like, level 0, if anything. But one of the simplest ways to kind of look at it is like the main 9, which is sort of the 9 actual layers of the actual, you know, back rooms. Of course, level 0 being the one that we've seen, but then you've also got level 1, which is the habitable zone, which is, I think, exactly what we saw midway into that video when we started.
So you go to level 0, but then you have to get to level 1, which there's going to be people there, and then level 2. So level 1 is the second level of the back rooms.
Just massive, like, hellscape, you know, like the sort of like nuclear underground area with the one weird
What level is
dumpster
this?
hidden in that liminal space. Of course, that's level 1, which connected you all the way back to level 0 via fire exit. The pipe dream section, which consists of long, dim, concrete maintenance hallways with steam pipes lining the walls and ceiling. So again, this is just like one photo of it. And again, I don't know if that's an entity or like a human being walking through it. Again, the further you go into it, the
Fuck
less
that.
there actually exists of people, okay? Again, most people would be stuck in level 0, all right? Most people would be stuck here, and they'd probably go insane 99% of the times. Level 3 would actually be where it starts getting unsafe, which is the electrical station right here, as you can see. Of course, it kind of looks more like a prison block, if anything, which, again, this whole thing is a prison block. Level 4 is actually reminiscent of what we saw towards the tail end of that video with how open things got, or how, like, weird it ended up becoming. This is like the office space area. And, yeah, you know, this is more open, but of course, that's generally what we're getting, the abandoned office. Of course, the 9th level that they have is like the, it was what we've got as the cave system, which actually reminds me a lot of Ted the Caver, that creepypasta, which, like, if you have any form of, like, claustrophobia, you definitely don't want to be reading that one late at night, okay? It will actually, like, trigger something within you. But this is, like, where
Ted
we've
the
gotten to
Caver.
in one wiki. Of course, if you go into the main one over here, you can actually see that they've got, like, 999 of them. Of course, not all of them actually have entry, simply due to the fact that there's not a whole lot of... Of course, in the actual, like, one of the main wikis, you can actually see that they've got, like, 999 levels that they've worked on. Of course, a lot of them actually have no data, simply due to the fact that not a lot of them are actually finished, okay? No one's going to sit there and make a 999 rooms. And of course, not all of these entries are actually really good. But one thing to understand is some of them, a lot of them, you know, a lot of the ones that are there actually do have like a lot of media. So for instance, level 901, which for those of you who are wondering, are the backrooms entirely located within something? No, some of them actually take place out in the great, you know, outdoors and whatnot. For instance, level 901, which is one that I was reading like, you know, a couple days ago, which is actually a large stretch of land, and it actually, if you look close into it, it's got like a monochromatic look to it. And if anything, if you play the game Death Stranding and you're walking around on the beach, that is what immediately hits you in the head. In fact, if anything, out in the distance, you can see that it's got like a Silent Hill vibe. You know, like a really crazed, like, cursed town off in the distance. And if the worst thing comes to worst, forests in monochromatic colors are the scariest thing out there. If you ever walk through a forest like this, this is absolutely this is actually like deathly scary shit. Especially when it gets like dark and you're starting to lose your way into it. Forests are without a doubt one of the scariest places on God's green earth that I've ever actually encountered. Of course, one of the aspects of the backrooms that I actually don't really find too engagingly funny from time to time is like the amount.
After hearing a story, it wasn't a creepypasta. It was a story about what was it? It was a story about like people finding staircases in the middle of like national parks and big forests and stuff like that. But it was just a staircase with it leading up to nothing. It was just a random staircase in the middle of the forest. I'm gonna see if I can find a picture right quick. Wait, dude. Random staircase in forest. Can we find? Oh, dude, just like this right here. It was just like this, and it was just stories of random staircases leading to nothing in the middle of the forest and stuff like that. And it was like a park ranger horror story video, and I was just reading it. It's like stuff like this or like stuff like that. Random staircases. There's some weird shit going on in like national forests and stuff like that. Y'all telling me y'all want to be going exploring alone with
that almost
in the forest
from the mystery. See, for me, like when it comes to scary things on the internet, the more mystery that you can add, within reason, of course, the scarier things become. Because usually my brain is like putting in the actual extra details. But here they actually got like explorer groups. So literally there are governmental systems now in the Backrooms lore. For instance, the MEG, which is the Major Explorer Group, is the actual like governing body, or one of the main governing bodies in the area. For instance,
this shit is crazy, man. But hey, if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you leave a like down below. That'll tell me that you guys like this type of video. Make sure you comment down below. Tell me what I should change about the videos. Tell me if you guys like the videos. Tell me if you guys have explored the backrooms. In game, of course, because if you did, actually, you guys have Wi-Fi in the back room, so tell me if you're in the back rooms right down there. Make sure you leave a like. I'm gonna say that one more time. Make sure you guys check out the Twitch down below. Make sure you guys sub to the main channel and sub to this channel too. Let me get a sub, man. Like, comment, do everything you guys are supposed to do. Hey, if you're a sponsor, you're watching this video, you like this video, go ahead, send me some. Let's get paid together. With all that being said, though, the backrooms is crazy. I definitely don't want to go. But without further ado, you beautiful people, have a beautiful day. Don't get no clipped into the backrooms. Bye.